Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. And the human sphincter that is Ed Miliband is getting a right spanking. We already know, of course, that the £7,500 grant for heat pumps will be disappearing in a puff of, well, not steam. It's not warm enough for steam, is it? But a puff of something. That's gone. And now the targets of 600,000 heat pumps a year to be installed by 2028, that's being dropped as well. In fact, nobody's even talking about it anymore, except Ed, but he's mental, so we can forgive him. Beyond that, other things are amiss. So, for example, the fact that they are now seriously considering the abolition of boiler tax that was set to go in, where if you needed a new boiler, you had to pay extra money because how dare you use something that's good and efficient instead of using one of our shitty heat pumps. So they punish you, give you a punishment beating. So they're looking that they're going to have to get rid of that because they know that's going to be an absolute no voter. On top of that as well, they are looking at the problem of energy poverty. Energy poverty affects those at the bottom the most because energy represents a higher proportion of their income than if you're poor than if you're rich. And of course, poorer people tend to live in, to be fair, less well insulated homes. They don't have the wherewithal to fix things. And so energy poverty is a major problem. And of course, energy poverty is exacerbated by the fact that you've got all these green taxes on top of your energy and your gas and all that. Get rid of them and you'll ease the problem. More problems for Miliband. He doesn't want to give up the green energy taxes. In fact, he doesn't want to give up any of these things. He wants people to be punished for being warm, punished for heating their homes, punished for cooking their food, just generally punished because the guy, as we know, is a complete bellend and he's fixed on this idea of net zero, which everyone knows is impossible. In fact, it's now so impossible that it's officially being given up. Foreign dependence on energy is at an all-time high, and yet here we are, effectively an island built of coal on a sea of oil. And yet there we go, we have to import it because generations now of leaders have decided that, oh, it's all bad, it's all terrible, bad, it's all bad, bad, bad. And they've deliberately impoverished us. Now, don't think this is just British government. This is actually globalist, WEF stuff. Britain was rich. Britain used to be really rich. Britain was one of the richest countries in the world until they forced open borders on us and the dregs of the world come in and they suck off the body of Britain. And now we've got to give up our coal because that's cheap energy. Nothing to do with saving the environment, you understand. It's all to do with making Britain poor. Can't have your cheap energy. You have to get this energy and that energy, all the expensive stuff, so that we can make Britain poorer. Because a poor Britain means it can't have an influence around the world. Because we've got to give the Chinese and the influence, or we've got to give someone else the influence, not British influence. Look at those bastards over there. Look at what they've done. Look at the terrible things they've done for us. Given us the English language, the civil service, railways, television, computers, all the terrible things of the world. And look at the way they ended slavery. How dare they? Set up modern democracy. How dare they? Us bastard Brits, eh? But they want us broken. And then, like fools, our leaders have fallen for it. What we need is a leader who says to the rest of the world, FRO, open up the coal mines, dig, baby, dig. Open up coal-fired power stations, have nice, cheap electricity, and screw the rest of them. We've got cheap electricity, the same as China has, and we put our energy bills down by at least 80%. And then the old people can afford to heat their homes and say, screw you to the rest of the world. What's the worst they can do? They'll be queuing up to buy our cheap energy. They couldn't wait. They're full of shit. Thanks very much. Goodbye.